How you guys doing? Raul de la Vega, Patriot Home Loans with a quick lunch and learn. So, we have 28 people logged in, and I'm going to do the Q&A afterwards. So please bear with me. You can put your questions in the chat, but we'll do the Q&A, questions and answers after the presentation because I'm going to post this on my YouTube channel, on my social media, and I just kind of want to make it as short as possible. After I stop recording, I will answer all your questions. So all things credit, that's what we're talking about today. Yes, because right now, credit scores are a big deal in this conventional market. A lot of people are accessing equity, taking cash out, refinancing for a lower rate, or it's a very competitive purchase market. So having a high credit score is very important. So this is not necessarily a class for people that have a very low credit or low credit to get it into okay credit or good credit. This is for people that have good credit to make it great credit, or if you have great credit to make it outstanding credit. Okay, so that's what we're going to be going over today. And what makes up your credit score? First things first. What number one question I get asked is, why is my credit score different than on Credit Karma? I don't know what Credit Karma reports. I don't know what they charge, but for some reason, Credit Karma always reports a way better credit score than any mortgage lender when pulling any of the three credit bureaus gets. So I don't know why they're always reporting better credit. I think they're selling a service, and that's how they better sell that service, by telling you that you have a better credit score than you do. But that is the case. Will pulling my credit bring my credit score down? Okay. Yes and no. If you pull your credit, if you go and you apply for 5 credit cards the same day, your credit score will most probably be affected. For some reason, my personal opinion, when I see somebody shopping around for the mortgage and 2 different companies pull their credit report, usually we will have the same score. Take that for what it's worth. It's my professional opinion. It's not a perfect science, but that's been my experience. Also, I've pulled a credit one time, and then something happened that one of my team members didn't realize it, and they thought they hadn't pulled the credit yet, and they pull it again. So we, as the same company, pulled it the same day, and when we look at it, it has the same score, even though we pulled that credit twice. This happened some years ago. We let our client know, but that's been my experience. What is a FICO score and who determines it? Well, a FICO score is very simple. It's a 3-digit numbers from 300 to 850. A credit score provided to lenders by 3 bureaus. So the 3 bureaus are Experian, TransUnion, and Equifax. Now, these 3 bureaus usually 95% of the time report different scores for the same individual. The 3 reporting agencies have different FICO score for credit applicants because they use different data. For instance, you may have a Chase card, and that Chase card only reports to Experian and Equifax. And then you may have a student loan, and that student loan only reports to TransUnion. Or you may have a Visa, and they report to TransUnion and Equifax. So that's why each bureau gets different data, because different credit companies report to them. So that's why we pull all 3, to make sure there's nothing there that we can't see. And when I say we, I mean the banks, because that's a requirement they put on me and my clients. All right. What does your FICO score consist of? Okay, this is very important. Types of credit used. This is very important. So it consists of any new credit. They want to know how much new credit you have. The length of the credit history. When you have old credit cards that you've been paying on time and you've had them open for 5, 6, 7, 10 years, those are the best. Those are the big boosters for your credit score. Payment history. If you have 3, 4, 5 years with no blemish on your credit, and you have 3 or 4 or 5 trade lines, boom, I already know you're going to be in the high 700s. An amount of credit used, okay? If you have 3 credit cards at $3,000 limits, and each credit card you have $2,995 balances, that's going to absolutely hurt your score. So amount owed on the cards is another thing that really affects your credit. Okay, we'll go more into detail in next. Why are FICO scores different? I already stated that. There are 9 different platforms for FICO scores. There's mortgage, auto, furniture, student loans, department stores, yada, yada, yada. These different creditors report to different bureaus. So you're going to have a different score in each one of the 3 bureaus 90% to 95% of the time. FICO score payment history. Please put your questions on the chat. I see you raising your hand. Just we'll answer it right after. Approximately 35% of the FICO scores is based on the payment history. Okay, now we got 37 people. Yes, baby. So 35% based on your payment history. Imagine, that's 1/3. So if you keep your nose clean and pay your bills on time, you're already 1/3 of the way there. Number of accounts which are past due or reporting delinquency compared to the numbers of accounts in good standing. So let's say you have an account that's in collections, like let's say it's an old Cox bill from you were 23 back in your college days or something like that. That'll be okay. Now, a lot of those will go into collections later. It's my personal opinion. Usually if you get those to zero balance, even though they're old, it will positively affect your credit score. A lot of people will tell you different, but that's just been my personal experience. Okay, the first delinquent item will have more severe impact to the FICO score than a credit file containing several derogatory items, which means if you have good credit and you miss a payment, boom, your score is going to drop like 50 points. You're going to go from like 710 to like 660. You're going to be, oh man, by somebody who's got bad credit, like 620, they miss a payment, it only goes down to 610. Why? It's more effectively, it's really touchy when you have a good, you're held at a higher regard. You're held at, I don't know, it just affects you more. So be careful. If you have high credit, you miss a payment, it's going to plummet like 70 points and it's going to definitely tick you off. So again, that's been my experience. All right, FICO scores, payment history. So length of time since delinquency has been reported after 2 years of current payments on the derogatory 30-day late items will begin to lessen. That means that it doesn't affect you as bad once it's been 2 years. But to be honest with you, if you keep your nose clean, you have okay credit, good credit, and you miss one payment, if you have a lot of positive trade lines reporting on a monthly basis, it'll just bump that score up right back to where it was. Why? Because credit naturally wants to go up like a hot air balloon or like a helium balloon. It naturally wants to go up. It's up to you to hold it down. By keep making mistakes, by maxing out credit cards, by running your credit very often with credit cards or personal loans. That's how you keep your credit score down. Another way is, getting civil judgments placed in public records on you. Federal tax liens, if you don't pay your taxes, the federal government will place federal tax liens on you. If any bankruptcy filings on you, these are all things that negatively affect your credit score. All right, FICO score, amount of owed on revolving accounts. Approximately 30% of the FICO score is based on the amount owed on revolving and installment loans. Balances on revolving debt should remain 30% of the credit limit. HELOCs can be considered as revolving. Once closed, this can also impact negatively since it would be less credit lines available to the consumer. So what does this mean? You have a credit card that has a $10,000 max limit. What is the maximum that you should run on that credit card? It's $3,000. Every dollar after $3,000 is adversely affecting your credit score. So one thing you can do is increase, like if you owe a lot, you can increase your limit. That way, if you owe $5,000, try to increase it to $15,000. Things like that. So give me a call if you have any questions on that matter. But normally, you don't want to have more than 30% of owed to the limit on that card or that loan. Student loans, while they are in deferment, can report loan balance which is higher than the original loan amount. As a result, the trade can have a negative impact on your score. This happens a lot. If you have student loans, this happens a lot. Like you're in deferment and they gave you let's call it $10,000. They gave you a student loan for $10,000 and you used all $10,000. So the high limit on that loan is $10,000. You haven't made any payments, so you owe $10,000. Then you start deferring it and you're collecting interest during that deferment. So now you owe $10,442. So the high limit on that trade line is $10,000, but you owe $10,442. What does that mean? That you owe more than the limit, and that is a dagger to your credit. Make sure that doesn't happen because that can cost you 80 points. That's just simple. It's not even a mistake that you did, okay? This is very, very, very important that you do not go over that limit. So you need to get it changed, you need to get it addressed, you need to get it raised, you need to pay the $442. You need to do something because it will affect you a lot on your credit score. FICO scores, length of credit history, we spoke on this. Older accounts that you've been positively paying on these for a long time, they're going to be the ones that really help you, especially if they're under 30%. Okay, approximately 50% of your score is based on length history. Isaac will not generate a score on a file which does not have any activity within the last 6 months. So if you don't know anybody and you haven't had any positive reporting, it doesn't matter if you have 4 credit cards, but if you don't know any balances on them, so they're not reporting on a monthly basis, you don't know any cars and you don't know any mortgages, if there's no activity on your credit, we will not get a credit score for you. So make sure, believe it or not, you got to pay to play, baby. Pay to play. So put $100 in each account and make a $20, $10 minimum payment. That's what you need to do to maintain your credit. Having a borrower become an authorized user on an existing account may add credit history to a person within FICO scores. However, this may not be acceptable to qualify for a mortgage, but in most cases they are. And now if you call us, we can use your Hulu account and your Netflix as a trade line to help you increase your score. All right, next. You didn't know that, did you? All right, FICO scores. Amount of new credit. Approximately 10% of the FICO score is based on new credit reflecting on the credit report. So be careful of opening up too many accounts too soon. Fair Isaac will scan the file to look for dates over in the previous 24 months to compare the total to the overall number of accounts which has been established. So be careful with opening up too many accounts in a short period of time. That hurts your credit. FICO score type of credit in use. Approximately 10% of FICO score is based on the type of credit in use. Ideally, the report should consist of revolving debt. Lack of specific type of balance can impact the score. Yes, so you want to have a nice mix. You want to have some installment debt, which is a personal loan, a student loan, a car loan. You want to have some revolving debt, like credit card debt, and you would like to have a mortgage. Now, when you have a little bit of each, that gives you the perfect score, especially when you keep those revolving debts, credit accounts, credit card accounts under 30%. That's very important. Installment loans, they don't need to be under 30% like a car or a personal loan, okay? What does rescore mean relative to credit? A lot of people talk about rapid rescore. Now, rapid rescore is available through the 3 credit bureaus. It's a very misunderstood concept because rescoring does not change a bad credit score into a good credit score, right? It's just a tool to make changes or corrections in a very fast way. So we don't need to wait 30 days for that correction to be reported from the credit bureaus. We can pay $300 to $400 to get that done instantly in 3 to 4 days instead of 30 to 40 days. So rapid rescore is not me fixing your credit, it's me correcting or telling you what to do on your credit and getting that change done in a 4-day period instead of a 40 or 60-day period. This is something we specialize here at Patriot Home Loans because we truly analyze your credit score to get you not only the best interest rate, but the best deal and qualify for the most for your money. All right, possible reasons why you would want to rescore: erroneous payments history, incorrect balances, accounts discharged through bankruptcy that show as current payoffs, accounts that show heavy use of available credit, that's a big one, missing accounts containing one-time payment history. These are all things that we can get corrected or taken off with a rapid rescore, and we'll get your score up to 40 or 50 points in a 5-day period. This is something, again, that we do here a lot at Patriot Home Loans. Tips for raising your credit score and improving your credit profile. Pay bills on time. Hello? Paying them on time. All right? Get current and stay current on all payments. Again, right along the same lines, prepare a long-term strategy for your credit. Keep balances low. Don't charge more than 30% on those credit cards than your total limit. Don't close accounts, and don't have credit accounts at zero balance. Put at least $100 on them. Make $5 or $10 payments every month. That's going to really help your credit, because if you have 4 accounts with $80 balances making $10 payments, those are 4 positive reportings every month. Just bam, 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 really getting your credit score up. Obviously, don't open a lot of new accounts. Don't rate shop by, running your credit too many times. And don't change your credit cards for 0% over and over and over again, because those new trade lines ultimately hurt you. All right. How long must you wait for to apply for a loan within bankruptcy when you've had a bankruptcy? So for a conventional loan, Chapter 7 is 4 years from the discharge date. For Chapter 13, it's 2 years from the discharge date. On an FHA loan, Chapter 7 is 2 years from the discharge date, and Chapter 13 is 1 year. Is 1 year from the time the repayment plan was elapsed. Okay, but most of the time it's going to be the discharge date. USDA loan, Chapter 7 is 3 years. Chapter 13 is 3 years. And last but not least, on the VA loan, it's 2 years, Chapter 7, 1 year, Chapter 13. Which will have more of an impact to a FICO score, foreclosure, or short sale. It varies on the payment history leading up to the account going into foreclosure and short sale, regardless of the loss, okay? So it depends on how many months you've missed before the short sale or foreclosure was finalized. If you didn't miss any payments and sold short, that is the best possible scenario for your credit. Or you didn't miss any payments and gave the house up for foreclosure, which doesn't normally work that way. But the best way would be not miss any payments and sell your house short. How long must you wait to apply for a loan with foreclosure or short sale on your record? A very good question. Doesn't apply right now because every house has a lot of equity, and most people are not losing their homes right now in 2021. Most people are having a hard time. But just so you know, foreclosure 7 years on conventional, 3 years on FHA, 2 years on VA, and USDA, not USAD, it's 3 years. Okay, so as you can see, the VA loan has the lowest requirement, hence why I do so many VA loans. All right, next, public record. Federal tax liens, 7 years from release date. State tax liens, 7 years, and civil judgments, 7 years. Inquiries, you need to know what's the difference between a hard and a soft inquiry. A hard inquiry is an inquiry initiated by consumer credit lenders for a credit application. This can be on your credit for about 2 years, but normally it's for a mortgage is 120 days. A soft inquiry, which is what we do most of the time to check our client scores, does not negatively affect your credit. This is for background checks, insurances. It doesn't affect your score, and it's not linked to a specific application for a mortgage. Should I pay my collection account? Maybe, maybe not. Long story short, call me and check with me, and I will tell you what to do. Consumer dispute verbiage. We here at Patriot Home Loans help you to dispute your accounts for free at no added charge to get your credit score up, so you can get a better interest rate at lower fees. So this is something that I go over in the professional loan consultations to tell you where you should dispute an account or not dispute an account, or pay off a collection or not collection. I analyze your credit for you, and I will go over it with a fine-tooth comb in detail. How to remove a dispute verbiage from your credit report. Communicate directly with the creditor and request the dispute count to be removed. The request has to be in writing, and it does take 30 to 40 days to be taken off. We can help you again with that letter, and normally it's pretty easy, but it takes, again, 30 to 45 days to do so, depending on when we mail out the letter, what day of the month. How to remove a dispute from your credit. How to dispute account from your credit is directly with the 3 credit bureaus. You want to call them. Here are the phone numbers for each one of them. And your mortgage lender can submit a response. If you provided evidence and you disputed that you paid on time and you provide your evidence, then normally it will get removed within 45 days. And that's sometimes mortgage lenders report you late when you were really not late. So it's just a matter of proving it. Again, I will answer all the questions right now when I shut out the recording. I really thank you so much for hanging in with me. I know it's a lot of information. I know I was speaking fast, but I wanted to get a lot of information in a short amount of time. My name is Raul de la Vega with Patriot Home Loans, and I truly appreciate you taking the time to watch this and attending my credit seminar. And remember, you can always call me directly at 619-370-4272. Thank you very much. Talk to you later. Peace.